I am so tired of these boys taking advantage. I wouldn't even say taking advantage, but literally underappreciating and misleading these females who, one, have their shit together, two, are only interested in really supporting and uplifting their man, and just literally just leading them on. Like,
men, for the most part, do not care about your career. Guys, this is something that a lot of modern women find out the hard way when they reach 35 years of age. Your career, your university degree, your quote-unquote confident attitude does not make it any easier to get a man. If you wanted a long-term boyfriend, if you wanted a partner, your career, your degree are not going to help you with these things. Moreover, trying to shame men into relationships with you is not going to work.
if you're not ready for that kind of female in your life, that's totally fine. But stop misleading them on and stop acting like you're about that when you're not. Because I've seen too many amazing females who are gorgeous, who are about their shit, being fucking taken advantage and underappreciated.
No accountability whatsoever. Guys, this is what no accountability looks like, okay? Women will continually select men who are clearly not interested in commitment and then claim that they have been led on. Yes, the guy might have been dishonest. Yes, he might have lied to you, but guess what? The guy who's over 6 foot, who's making good money, this is a shock, horror, and surprise, is not interested in dating girls who are 30 plus years of age in any sort of serious capacity, looking for, you know, kids and stuff like that. Like, if you wanted to have a family, if you wanted to have a long-term relationship, why would you wait until 35 years of age and now you want a good man to come and take care of you? Or to take care of a good man, which, by the way, guys, women do not like providing for men. This idea that they're looking for guys that they can provide for, that relationship is not going to end up well for men, because girls say that they want a guy that they care about. They want a guy, you know, they want a guy who has open, honest communication. But I think every man who's been out there dating understands what happens when you openly and honestly communicate. Like, guys, remember the last time you told a woman about your feelings? How exactly did that go? But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's episode, guys, we have a very interesting Reddit story. But before we jump into that, guys, we have yet another TikTok video. And this is advice, yes, breakup advice from a serial dater. Now, if you don't know what a serial dater is, guys, basically it's what the name implies. Someone who has lots of casual relationships, I suppose, but I don't know why you would take any sort of advice from someone, particularly a woman who serially dates, because I don't know why these girls seem to think it's some sort of flex that they can't lock down a boyfriend, but it is what it is. Let's take a listen.
Something that I feel like that no one really talks about after a breakup is what to do when you start to feel happy again, when things that you've been wanting for years start coming to life, when doors start opening, when life just gets easier.
I don't know, move on like the rest of us. When things start to get better, you see what she's doing is she's hinting that things aren't actually better even though they get better, because she still misses the guy. Right? She still misses the guy that she used to have, or whatever number of relationships she used to have. And this is the interesting part. Men are expected to come along and to commit to girls who are successful. Yes, they might be a bit older, but guess what, guys? These girls are oftentimes still attached to their ex-boyfriends from many years ago. Hell, even if he wasn't a boyfriend. I read a Reddit story the other day, and it was a girl literally alpha widowed over a crush that she had on a dude. But let's keep going.
It's so easy to harp on the negative of the relationship and it ending and everything, but it's like when things are going really well, it's almost harder because you want to share that positive information with someone that you cared about.
Yeah, but he's not there anymore, right? The relationship no longer exists. I find it very interesting, guys, like, that the girl is saying that she's moved on, but now she's like, oh, we've got to the good part of moving on, but it's not so good. Then you haven't moved on. You're still attached to the previous person. You're still attached to the man that you used to be with, and or men. Okay, I find it very interesting that girls who are serial daters, guys, like, you can see this pattern coming from years away. You can see this pattern when a girl's 18, when this starts happening. Okay, serial daters, do not give good advice. Because why? It's not, first of all, it's not transparent. Second of all, it has no accountability. And third of all, why would you want advice from someone who cannot lock down a guy? Now, if you're a woman and you want to go out there and you want to casually date, go through a whole bunch of dudes, sure, I mean, you can do that, but I don't understand why you'd need advice for that. All you need is an application, but it is what it is.
And that person, if it ended amicably, was probably your best friend. And I feel like that's the part that I'm struggling with the most, is feeling and seeing my success come to light in so many different aspects, and knowing that my partner would have been so supportive and so happy for me, and just knowing that I have to celebrate my own success.
This is might be one of the most narcissistic things I've ever heard, but look at this. She writes a message at the bottom. It says, you can still appreciate them from a distance. Can you guys imagine if you're in a relationship with this woman and she's making TikToks like this? And she's saying, you can still appreciate them from a distance. I've had my success, blah, blah, blah. You aren't over the previous guy. You still are interested in the previous man. Guys, I've said this about Instagram before, TikTok, I mean, whatever social media application is next. But women oftentimes, they treat these applications, even if the relationship dissipates, as a means to contact their ex-boyfriends or the dudes who like orbiting them, so to speak. So what they do is they'll go out, they'll have fun with dudes, or they'll have relationships, and then that guy will still be present on her Instagram. Okay, and we as a society are just supposed to ignore it when girls will post very questionable photos of themselves while you're in a relationship with them. I've always found it interesting where girls will say, listen, I want to post this because I want to do it for me, or oh, he's just a friend, it shouldn't really matter, etc., etc. But I guarantee you guys, you as a man, if you remove your attention, like let's just say you have a girl who's posting spicy photos and she thinks it means nothing, okay, go out and tell her, go take another woman on a fancy dinner date, don't call it a date, and then just insist that she's a friend and see how mad your woman gets at you. All right, let's keep going.
But I think it's a really important reminder, and I feel like this could help someone else, that you can still appreciate the connection you had with them and those memories that you shared from a distance. You don't have to speak to them every day. You don't have to tell them that you saw their friend or a song on the radio came on that reminded you of them, or
you could just, I don't know, move on.
You know, anything that comes to light that would be a quick like reminder of them. Like, you can still appreciate them and that memory from a distance, and it's okay to be happy about the breakup.
You know what, guys, I feel like watching videos like these, and the videos just ended right there, I always feel like I've just experienced some sort of fever dream, because nothing was really said other than I'm not over my ex and I want to use this application to garner his attention still. Like, just move on. This is something, like, the guys are not interested in you. Whenever you see women post things like this, guys, or they post photos, or they post stories, they're not actually posting it typically because they want to post the story, usually. Usually it's to get the attention of some particular guy that they're talking to, right? So they'll use, like, in Instagram stories, they'll use a song that he's interested in, or they'll post a place that, you know, she knows that he frequents, or some crap like that. Basically, it all just comes down to, I would like some attention. Now, guys, let's jump into today's Reddit story, and as always, we have yet another absolutely disgusting one. Now, my editor sent this to me, guys. I haven't read through it yet, but you can see by the title, it's just gross, okay? I'm interested in my ex-boyfriend's good friend, and my editor told me that people were just not holding this woman accountable, and people were, you know, supportive of her, even though she's going after her ex-boyfriend's friend. So we'll have to take a listen and see how this pans out. So the individual says, I'm interested in my ex-boyfriend's good friend. I broke up with my boyfriend of 10 years, 6 months ago. Let's call him Andy. We had grown into great friends, but we were no longer a couple. We split amicably. Well, he didn't put up a fight, just said okay, packed up what he wanted, and left. We've texted a couple of times since, but nothing serious. Mail, reminding me about a thing, asking about the dogs, that sort of thing. I made the right decision, and I'm happier for it. So right off the bat, guys, we have no idea why this woman ended her relationship of 10 years with this guy. Absolutely no idea. And she ended it 6 months ago. Just threw it out. And are we provided with any reason? Absolutely not. he just said okay, packed up his things and left. Which, by the way, guys, this is a fantastic way to deal with a breakup as a man. If you're going through some sort of breakup, guys, this is literally the best way that you can do it. Just say okay and leave, right? Don't give any more than necessary, guys. You just leave it at that. Let's keep going. He says, his really good friend and old roommate lives next door to me. Let's call him Nelson. Nelson was not shocked that I broke up with Andy. He and I have chatted a couple of times specifically about me and Andy and our breakup, and he has said many times that he's surprised I haven't done it sooner. This guy is not Andy's friend. I've known Nelson for as long as I've known Andy, as they were roommates when we first started dating. At the time, Nelson was in a relationship, we all became friends, with a woman who ended up ODing and, you know, leaving about 5 years ago, etc. Nelson has always been a friend. He's a good-looking guy who has not been able to find a girlfriend. I know that he's a good-looking man, but I never thought of him in any way other than a good friend. This is bullcrap, guys. This is absolute insanity. This woman is trying to lead us to believe that she was never attracted to her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend's best friend, or roommate, or good friend, or whatever the case may be. She was never attracted to him, but she always knew that he was a good-looking guy. Isn't that interesting, right? Just straight up trying to remove the accountability. This is a lie. She was interested in him from the get-go. She probably liked him more than Andy. In fact, she probably broke up with Andy to get with this guy. Isn't it just awfully convenient, guys, that the moment that this dude is single, what does she do? She throws away her boyfriend, and she goes over, and she's now interested in this man. Very, very coincidental, guys. Very, you know, just what an insane coincidence that is. But let's keep going. So we've existed as neighbors since Andy left. We've hung out in the sun outside over beers and a couple of times this summer, but no effort to getting together a priority. Right, so listen, it's not a priority that they get together, but hey, you know, it's definitely on the list somewhere there. Right, okay. This past Friday, we were standing outside and he said his work was having a Halloween party on Saturday and suggested that I go. I told him maybe, knowing my homebody tendencies and needing an out. I woke up on Saturday and thought about how I needed to get out more. I work from home in a high-stress job, and my weekends are for decompressing and chores. I met his bosses and co-workers and had a couple of drinks. He was the backup that night and got off at a decent hour and drove us home. He asked if I wanted to hang out a little longer, and I invited him into my apartment. This guy, by the way, is not the ex-boyfriend's friend, right? If you're friends with a dude and he even talks to your ex-girlfriend, man, that is not your friend. That is absolutely not your friend. Your friends are supposed to be in your corner no matter what, especially over girls. Okay, but this idea of like, oh, the friend is still going to be friends with your ex and they're going to hang out and go to parties together, absolutely not. That is not your friend, guys. No way in hell. He brought over some wine. We hung out and listened to music. The wine kicked in and we both got toasty. Next thing I know, we are making out like teenagers for quite a while. We stopped before it went too far. This is a lie. But I remember asking him, what are we doing? And his response was, I've had a thing for you for a very long time. She knew this. That's why the whole situation began. Okay, that's why she broke up with a boyfriend. That's why that she put herself, because guys, if you were to believe like the narrative of this story, you would think that the girl just happened to end up in his room. Things just, you know, fell into place and one thing led to another, and then all of a sudden he revealed that he was interested in her. No, she knew the whole time. She knew what she was doing. She chose to get into this situation. She knew that the guy was good looking. She wants you to believe, as the reader, guys, as the ex-boyfriend, you know, whoever that she's talking to, she wants the audience to believe that she had nothing to do with this situation realistically happening. But that could not be further from the truth, guys. She was attracted to the man. She didn't get with him to begin with because he had a girlfriend. She knew that he was attracted to her the whole time. She ended the relationship coincidentally when he was out of his relationship, and now, wouldn't you know it, guys, she's somehow attending a Halloween party, meeting his bosses, and she invites him back to her apartment. Absolutely insane. He asked me if I was okay, and maybe this was something we could do again. I tipsily replied, I'd be okay with pursuing this. She spelled pursuing wrong. Fantastic. I am okay with it. I'm surprised by that. I spent Sunday recovering from the evil wine tannins. I don't know, tannins. I don't know what the hell that is. And Monday was a heavy work day, but some guilt for Andy and some reflection on friendship and our living proximity crept in. I have had a lot to think about. I don't buy this. Right, she has some guilt now. I really don't, because this is something that has been orchestrated for months. We saw each other in the hallway last night. Oh wait, is Andy the dude that she's getting with, or is that the old guy? Blah blah blah. Let's call it. Yeah. So it's the ex-boyfriend. She doesn't feel guilt for Andy. Okay, this is something that she's been planning for a very long time. We saw each other in the hallway last night. After some small talk, I said I've had minor hickeys and whisker burns. We enjoyed ourselves. He replied, I had a lot of fun. I'd like to do it again if you're interested. She said, yeah. We should talk sometime this week when you have some free time. He told me he had today and tomorrow off. Back to where I thought. I never thought Nelson in that way. The butterflies are here. We certainly have some things to discuss. Look at that, already angling for like, what more can I get out of this Nelson guy? Can I get a relationship? Do you see this going anywhere? Oh, hell no. Here's where I need feedback, anecdotes, a slap in the back of the head. Do I bring up Andy with Nelson? He's not a bro kind of man, but isn't there a bro code? Andy moved 2 time zones away, but this might hurt him a lot. On the flip side, we are both adults and life goes on. How cutthroat is this, by the way, guys? You know, we're both adults. I can get with your friend. Life goes on. It is what it is. You all can't tell me with or without certainty if I'm making a mistake because we don't know each other. Interesting. So, guys, we can't tell her what's appropriate or what's not because, you know, she's making a decision and, you know, we don't know her personally, guys. Isn't that interesting? So I can't make a judgment about someone because I don't know them. That's very interesting. So let me ask you guys this, right? If you knew that someone down the street unalived many people from your neighborhood, but you didn't know them personally, would you still be able to pass judgment on them? The answer is absolutely yes. No accountability whatsoever. But what would you do, or have you done in a similar situation? Too long didn't read. Made out with my ex's good friend. She did more than that, and I'm tentatively excited about it. What an absolute demon of a woman. What an absolute demon. She does not care about the ex-boyfriend. She orchestrated this for months at a time. I'm actually interested to see what some people in the comments have to say. My editor said that this is disgusting. Would you look at that? The first one is giving her a blessing. Next one here says, I wouldn't bring it up personally. It's up to Nelson to interpret if their friendship is more important than pursuing a relationship with you. His friendship with Andy isn't your business. Also, Andy moved 2 time zones away. You're good. Go for it. Best wishes. Yeah, screw the ethics, boys. Am I right? Isn't it wild how girls who can have a lot more of a choice in men, right? She did not need to go with this guy's best friend. She could have got on dating apps. She could have walked outside to the coffee shop. She could have gone to the local library. Okay, she could have gone out for gone out. She could have done any number of things. But what happens? She somehow ends up with his best friend that she tries to convince you, us, as the audience, the whole time that she wasn't attracted to. Get out of here, bro. You are all adults and no cheating or disloyalty happened. I don't think it would be wise to bring up Andy with Nelson so soon. You are both only beginning to date, making the transition from just being friends to being something more. There was something more already. These people are so naive, man. You already live at the same place. That's all way too much pressure to add to something more. First, see if this is going somewhere. If it's only a fling, there is no need to tell Andy. Yeah, guys, because somehow having a fling with your, with your friend, your ex-roommate, isn't really an issue. There's no need to tell someone if it's casual. I wonder if that logic applies when you as a guy go out there and you get with her female friends. Oh, I didn't feel the need to tell you. Like, I only, we only got together a couple of times. I only bought her dinner like 4 times. It was just really kind of casual. There was no commitment. So I didn't think there was any need for me to tell you. I mean, she doesn't have to tell the guy, to be fair, guys. Like, but I just want you to notice the clear lack of accountability here. If you guys get serious, then approaching the Andy subject is a problem for tomorrow you to worry about. Just have fun for now and try not to overthink it. Wow, what fantastic stuff. This might be one of the most cutthroat things I've read, guys. That's just crazy to me. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, guys, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Yo guys, Past Taylor here. Just want to say thank you if you made it to the end of today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators over here at Fiend Gang, Hadan from Peace of Mind, and Detective Warg. Their channels will be linked in the video description. They've been putting out consistent content for you guys to enjoy, so make sure that you go and show them some love. Their channels will be linked below. Also, guys, if you are interested in supporting the channel, make sure that you come and join us for free over on Locals or Patreon. On Locals and Patreon, you guys get access to archived video content that is no longer available here on YouTube. And supporters also get access to exclusive videos where we cover different kinds of topics that you won't see me talk about here on YouTube, because to be honest, YouTube just really doesn't like it. There's video topics such as how broken families are created and how men can avoid it, bad traits that men can have, the reason why women chase married men, etc. So if you're interested in supporting, make sure that you go and check that out. And lastly, guys, if you're interested in getting a character made like mine, be sure to hit up our artist at the Gecko Ninja. He is linked in the video description as well. He's been doing art for Fiend Gang for quite some time, so if his stuff interests you guys, make sure that you hit him up for a commission. As always, he will be linked below the video. But with all that being said, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one, for real this time. Peace.